There is no doubt that we are fast approaching the end of the age and that the rapture of the church is on the near horizon. And there is no doubt that there is a perfect storm of Big Brother surveillance and control technology being developed and rolled out by our government, indeed by every government on the planet. But are these buzzword technologies that are being rolled out, is there any evidence in these technologies like the central bank digital currency, the digital ID, and the vaccine passport, any evidence in these technologies that the rapture is in the immediate future? Stay tuned for my take on this matter. Hi there, I'm Lee Brainerd. Welcome to Soothkeep and another edition of Prophecy in the Crucible. My mission is truth. I want the truth without varnish. Error always costs the people of God. Now, today the subject that we're looking for the truth in is the relationship between the timing of the rapture and the technology signs that we see being developed right now, technology that's going to be used to tyrannize all of mankind. Now, I have noticed that a number of watchmen in recent months have been insisting that the rapture must happen in the immediate future because so many of these big brother technologies that are going to be used to surveil and control mankind are being rolled out in the near future. But I think that these men and women of God are jumping the gun as far as these signs are concerned. And let me give you two reasons why I think so. The first reason is that there's nothing in the New Testament which states or implies that the church cannot be here on earth when these invasive technologies to surveil and control mankind are being rolled out. Bear in mind that tribulation and persecution are the church's lot in this world. We read, for instance, in Acts 14:22, that it is given unto us through much tribulation to enter the kingdom. Now, we in America here, and indeed to some degree in other parts of the world, haven't really suffered much tribulation. We're beginning to taste a little bit of tribulation and persecution, but we haven't really gotten a large dose of it. And we have no reason to whine or complain if we do get a large dose of it. We're not promised to be protected from severe persecution. The only thing that we are promised deliverance from is the time of Jacob's trouble, which is mentioned in Jeremiah 37. This time has a primary focus on the nation of Israel. This time is called in Matthew 24:21 the time of great tribulation that's going to come upon the entire world. And there's going to be tribulation such as has never been seen. This tribulation is going to be focused primarily on the Jews, but it's also going to involve every godly man on the planet. This time is also mentioned in Revelation 3:10, which is the hour of trial that's going to come upon the entire planet. And it's going to try the entire world. Now, folks, this hour of great tribulation, this hour of tribulation, this hour of trial upon the world, it's introduced by the opening of the first seal in the book of Revelation. And it introduces the Antichrist. This is the time that we are promised deliverance from. We are promised deliverance from being here on earth when that first seal is open and the Antichrist comes out. We are not guaranteed deliverance by any verse in the Bible prior to the rollout of the technology that the Antichrist is going to use to tyrannize the world. It wouldn't go against the imminent nature of the rapture, and it wouldn't go against the spirit of a pre-tribulation rapture if the church around the world faced the initial rollout of things like digital IDs, digital currency, digital surveillance, and the vaccine passports. There's nothing that says we can't see these things. Now, The truth is, folks, if we're really going to look at the big picture, the truth is many saints in the world are already suffering under the initial aspects of the rollout of this technology. Just take China, for example. They're the country in many of the test beds for this digital surveillance technology are already facing things like social grading and social credit scores, surveillance cameras everywhere, their digital IDs, digital banking, digital currency. Their whole life is being scrutinized, every movement, every motion, even their thoughts. Now, and many nations on this planet are more advanced than America in the rollout of this technology. The fact is, the U.S. is lagging behind. And there's not a doubt in my mind that we could see, I'm not saying we will see, I'm saying we could see some of these same sorrows that the Chinese brethren right now are facing because of this surveillance and control technology. We might face some of the big brother tactics that believers in other parts of the world are facing. Not saying we're going to, I'm saying that we could. Now, I grant that it would be a very creepy experience. It would be an awful feeling. It would be a sinking feeling that we would have to face these cold, clammy tentacles of the satanic big brother government choking down on society and robbing us of our freedoms and repressing our happiness and our joy. But if we did feel this stuff, folks, we would know that time is short, very short. We would know that we are just but moments away from the rapture. And if we did experience this awful, clammy tentacles clamping down on us, folks, our desire for the rapture would be sharpened immensely. When we first had the great turmoil come up back in early 2020, and over the next couple of years, I saw many Christians losing their hunger and desire for the world and the things the world has to offer. And now what do I see? As freedom relaxes, I see folks drifting back towards hungering and indulging the passing pleasures of the world at the expense of the things of the Lord. Now, the second problem that I see in this scenario of seeing an association between the rollout of this surveillance and control technology and claiming the immediacy of the rapture is that some of the watchmen have been jumping the gun when it comes to their observations on the timing of the rollout of the surveillance and control technology. Some of them have been claiming, or at least implying, that the technology is on the verge of being rolled out and implemented, and that we could see it implemented as early as this summer. Folks, this is simply not the case, at least not here in America. And on the basis of these claims that this technology is going to be rolled out this summer, then there were claims made that we have to be raptured this spring or this summer. At the latest. They're looking at the immediate future. And many of their spring rapture dates based on this style of thinking have already passed. And some of the folks that I watched actually belittled other watchmen who think that we might be here for a year or two. And they claim that those watchmen who think that we might be raptured a year or two out down the road are not real watchmen because they're not paying close enough attention to the signs. Well, folks, the fact is, if we actually pay close attention to the actual news releases, we actually go and read the news releases on these subjects. We go to the horse's mouth, we go to the source material. And we're not dependent entirely on the prognostications and interpretations of other watchmen. Then what we are going to see is that we actually have a little more breathing room than some of these watchmen are implying. The rollout of this technology is actually a little farther down the road than some of these watchmen are suggesting. For instance, let me just give you an example here. I've watched a few videos where people were going off on the Fed Now technology, and they're claiming, see, the digital currency is being introduced right now. Folks, yes, the Fed Now is being rolled out. It's here, okay? But it's not a digital currency, folks. It's a payment system similar to the long-existing Fed ACH system, and it facilitates exchanges and transfers between banks in any existing currency. It's not a currency. It's a financial transaction technology. How about the jab passports or the vaccine passports? Yes, the World Health Organization it's scheduled to gather this month and vote on a number of resolutions, including resolutions on whether they're going to be going to go from their current position of being advisors to a position of having governance over the world. And they're going to vote on resolutions like the vaccine passports. Now, if their resolutions on governance and vaccine passports actually pass, it's going to take 1 to 2 years for the G20 nations to roll out and fully implement the vaccine passports. This isn't, we're not going to face these passports being issued this summer. It's an extremely long shot that those passports could be issued before the end of the year. Maybe some nations are far enough along in the development of that they could do that. I don't think the United States is that far advanced in their development of this technology. We have the technology in theory, but as far as having the actual application already designed and ready to go, we don't have that. How about the digital currency, the central bank digital currency? Yes, America is committed to rolling this out. In fact, Biden in early 2022 signed an executive order calling for the development of digital assets. But folks, we are only about a year from the signing of the executive order to develop a digital asset. We don't have a digital asset yet. The fact is, our government is still in the brainstorming stage with ongoing talks between the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and the White House, and some independent think tanks that are being consulted. And the first focus of this whole program is the wholesale central bank digital currency, which is going to be used for interbank and international transactions. Their secondary focus is actually a little farther down the road, which is the retail central bank digital currency, which will be used for private and individual use, for shopping at brick and mortar stores, for shopping online, and for things like payroll and stuff. Now, the fact is, there is no definite product ready right now that's ready to go. It's not even nearly ready to go. They're just talking about it. Now, they have design concepts, and there's they can follow the lead of other nations that have already rolled out digital currency. But moreover, not only do we not have a digital currency that's ready to go right now today, any new digital currency, any new currency is going to need the approval of Congress. And there's more resistance to this than you might imagine. I do think that between the Republicans and the Democrats that there's going to be enough support to pass a new currency regulation. I don't think that's really going to be a hindrance, but there will be debate on the subject. By the way, when we're talking about this, I think some of the watchmen are confusing the existing digital banking with our current currency, and they're confusing it with the planned digital currency. Folks, these are not the same thing. We don't have digital dollars already. We have digital banking with paper currency. Soon we're going to have advanced digital banking with digital currency. But these two things are not the same. Now, the paper currency that we currently have and the new digital currency that's going to be introduced are going to run side by side for a while. They're going to coexist. But the ultimate plan is for paper currency to vanish and the digital currency alone to stay. Now, when it comes to the rollout of this digital currency in America, I want to point out that Europe is way ahead of us. They're planning on rolling out a digital euro in 2025. But they don't have it now. They're just planning on rolling it out. They're going to finalize their plans this fall. At least that's their intent for the digital currency. They're going to develop it in 2024 and 2025 and roll it out in 2025. And folks, Europe is significantly ahead of America in this regard. Well, let's move on to the last thing, which is the digital ID. The Senate Bill 884, which is the Improving Digital Identity Act of 2023, is being debated and talked about in the Congress. It's intended to, well, basically, it's probably going to pass this summer. It has pretty broad support. It has support on both sides of the political aisle. It's not just a Democrat concept. It's actually some of the concepts on this were actually introduced by Republicans. Now, once this bill passes, it's really only a matter of time and before we have a digital currency. In fact, it's just simply a matter of time before this bill is actually going to pass. And once it passes, then it's going to go to different committees and different agencies to develop the concepts and what they want to see implemented in their digital ID. And then it's going to go to whatever companies or agencies are going to be assigned with the contract to develop this stuff. Now, the technology for digital ID is already here. That's not a debated question. But the exact product that is going to be used for digital ID isn't yet designed, unless they grab something off the shelf, which I highly doubt. At this point, the U.S. government is going to want to develop its own highly sophisticated and unique product. I've got a few points here in conclusion. Now, the first point is I suspect that we have a little breathing room yet, maybe a year or two, before these unnerving aspects of Big Brother government are going to be rolled out and fully implemented. We've probably got a year or two before all these terrifying technologies for surveillance and control are going to be rolled out here in America. In other words, I think that we could possibly go another year or two into the rapture window of 2023 to 2026 without facing the iron tentacles, the cold, clammy tentacles of this invasive tech in its fully implemented form. The second point is that some of the folks in the Watchman community need to have more hard data, less speculation, and less sensationalism in their rapture timing prognostications. If we keep getting believers' hopes up with immediate horizon rapture dates based on Big Brother technology developments, we are going to be setting them up for painful disappointments, perhaps even disillusionment. 3, I would like to encourage my fellow watchmen to refrain from pushing immediate future rapture dates based on any particular signs. Folks, we don't know how big the rapture window is between the rapture and the tribulation. And we don't know the exact timing relationship between any form of this technology and the rapture. Therefore, we can't know from any particular technology signs or any group of technology signs whether we have hours, days, weeks, months, or even years left before the rapture. The only thing we can know with certainty is that the stage setting for the technological Big Brother tyranny of the tribulation is now shifting into high gear. That is obvious. And this tells us that time is short. But this is just a simple, generic time is short. There's nothing specific about it. The last point is I want to encourage my fellow watchmen to stick to pointing men to the collective convergence of signs which point to the nearness of the rapture. Don't be encouraging people to set their hearts on any particular date or any particular high watch time or any particular rapture window. Encourage them to set their hearts on the simple fact that Jesus is coming back soon. The convergence, the general convergence of all these signs points to the soon coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. What we have to understand is we have a clear understanding. We are right that these signs point to the soon coming of the Lord Jesus. But we don't have mathematical precision in our understanding of these signs and how they relate to the rapture. And there might be aspects, little variables that we're missing in this picture. So our understanding of when the rapture is going to be on the near horizon can be off by months or years. And we don't want to hurt people because they trusted our understanding of when the rapture is going to be. We want them to trust the generic big picture that the rapture and the coming of the Lord Jesus is soon. That's what we want their trust in. Encourage men to set their hearts on the simple fact that Jesus Christ is coming soon. Folks, the imminence of the rapture is like the imminence of a volcanic eruption. The signs get more frequent, they get more diversified, and they get more violent. But no sign, no set of signs gives us a definite date or a definite window for the eruption of that volcano. And the rapture works the exact same way. Just as there's a heightened probability of eruption in the near future without a definite date or a definite window, that's exactly what we have with the rapture. There's a heightened probability of the rapture in the near future without any definite date or any definite window. It's just simple imminence, folks. So keep looking up. Time is short. Eternity is long. Eyes wide open, brain engaged, heart on fire. We'll see you next time.